home opener.
He's headed for the end zone, and he scores! Victor Rosa and the Huskies roll 75 yards. Rosa to the 20, the 10, touchdown!
But the result wasn't what we were hoping for.
As Armstrong is in the shotgun with a setback to his right. And he's going to get into the end zone on the right side. Lennon Armstrong has been a thorn in the side of the Huskies all night.
We made too many mistakes. We got to throw the ball better. Obviously, we got to have an answer for the quarterback that runs. We thought we had an answer, and it was the wrong answer.
And now, here's Rob Dibble.
Oh, I love that man.
That's great.
You pretty much took the words out of every fan's mouth, Mr. Mora. But, listen. Uconn Huskies, like I say in baseball, you wait 50 games in Major League Baseball before you realize what the identity of a team is. And I think you got to give the Uconn Huskies a few more games before we decide on what the identity of the 2023 version of the Uconn Huskies team is going to be. You got a lot of new players, a lot of guys that need to understand what their roles are, and then maybe some better techniques in the next few games when it comes to tackling. But all in all, from that first series to Victor Rosa to, only giving up 24 points where usually the Uconn Huskies are giving up 38 or 49 points. Lot of positives. I'm a very positive person. It's the way I try to coach. When I coach, and I'm sure Jim Morrow will come back, he's not a negative person, but, it stings. Losing sucks. Nobody wants to lose. You don't show up to lose. Very scary moment when Raheem Ashford is blindsided by Isaiah Davis. I've looked at the video over and over now. I was right in front of that play. I didn't know that's what happened.
Yeah.
I thought that it was actually Julian Gray that got hit because he got smoked. I did not know Isaiah Davis blindsides Raheem Ashford. So hopefully that guy is going to be okay. They say he's going to be released today, and he can travel back to North Carolina, which is good. I don't know if he's driving or flying. If he's flying, it means that he wasn't concussed enough to where he can't get on an airplane. But and really, I look at them as young men, not grown men, not professionals. And so when you're talking, let's just say 18 to 24, because I'm sure some fifth year, there's the fifth-year senior on NC State.
There's a dude on NC State that has been in college for 8 years.
Yeah. So let's just say 18 to 24 years old.
They're still a pup.
You're going to make mistakes. Yeah. You have to try to minimize mistakes. And the one thing that UConn cannot afford is to make large mistakes. And so that unnecessary roughing penalty right after the penalty to Victor Rosa, the unsportsmanlike, and then on the over-celebration one that moved the ball, back to the 15 or the 10? I mean, it was insane how far back that – I don't think I've ever seen a kickoff go from that far back. Anyway, that being said, that was the turning point in the game. I mean, it looked like it would have been 17-14 was the score at that point, and then it put it back up to 24-14, and that was the final score. But I just think we have to bring our A game. We have to play, I don't want to say a perfect game, but as close to perfect against any of these teams, whether now Duke or Boston College or any of these teams that we play. That's what we have to do, because we don't have 5-star recruits all over the place. We don't have 4-star recruits all over the place, but we have a very good football team.
Great football team.
Yeah. Exactly, and very well coached. So when you make mental errors, meaning penalties, that's the stuff that's going to kill you. You're beating yourself is what I'm trying to say.
I totally agree with that assessment, especially the 17-14 marker. I left the game thinking, man, I don't think we let one go, but I think that was a game that we could have won.
Right.
We could have won. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I understand that. I think it's a motivator, though, because NC State on this schedule is one of the better teams. Going at Georgia State next week will be a test, but I think that everyone should have confidence in winning that football game that's on this team with the performance that we saw last night. Saw a bit of the new quarterback, still looking for a passing game. UConn faithful still wants to see more of that, and I'm with them on that. But I want you to hear what Durante Jones, the captain of the defense, or one of the captains of the defense, he is the safety that makes a bunch of tackles back there. He's a tackling machine. They pride themselves in being great tacklers. The discipline that you speak of Coach Mora comes from a guy that is a disciplined tackler himself. back in his day. So on top of those kind of mistakes, I think they could have played so much better on defense. I'll let you listen to the conversation. I think this is Mike and Wayne, Mike Crispino, Wayne Norman, post-game in the locker room with Durante Jones.
Durante, tough night in terms of dealing with Brennan Armstrong, their quarterback. What kind of problems did he present for you guys?
He really didn't do nothing that we didn't see on film. We knew that he was going to be a tough guy to bring down in the scramble game, but we didn't do it. We didn't do our best on defense, collapsing the pocket and wrapping up. The first game we didn't tackle the best. Even myself, I didn't tackle the best. So we got to get back to doing that next week. So yeah, that really what happened. We didn't get them when we had them. Like we kept giving a veteran quarterback like that. You can't give him second chances, because especially when you know he can use his feet. So that's what he did. That's how he beat us tonight.
From where you stood, did you think the Uconn defensive line did a good job trying to get some pressure on him, even though a lot of times he got out of that pressure?
Like I was saying, we did a good job, but we got to always do better. Even the DBs, like myself, like I got to come out the post and get them down. Even if I know my defensive line, they sometimes they ain't gonna be able to get them all the time. So we got to do a better job in getting them down. We got to do a better job in getting them down. That's all we could. That's all I can say. We just get them down.
A couple penalties that hurt the team in the second half. I think that's probably the thing you guys are going to talk about when you look at the tape. How do you prevent that stuff from happening?
We just got to be smarter. We got to know when to go and when to pull back. We can't let the hype of the game get to us. You know, we got a lot of young guys out there. A lot of young the penalties that we had were from young guys. So guys who haven't really been in the heat of the moment. They don't know when to go and when to pull back. So it's a learning lesson. So it obviously paid. It showed and it hurt. So it's just something that we're gonna learn from. We're gonna keep getting better with it.
Durante, you guys were in that game with a couple minutes to go. You lose, whatever the final score was by 10. But do you feel that the defense showed some real promise in this game, allowing only 24 points to a team with a pretty darn good quarterback? What were some of the positives defensively you saw tonight?
I can say on the back end, we played good in man coverage. We can always be better, but we got to do better in tackling. Like I said, we got to keep tackling. We got to keep tackling. It was all right, but that's one our standard. 24 points is too much, especially to a team like that who should never show 24 points.
I think that's the most honest assessment of the defense that you're going to get. Right
Absolutely.
There.
Absolutely.
They played good. They could play a lot better. Got to keep tackling. Got to keep tackling. Got to keep tackling. Got to keep tackling.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating because they've had months and months of preparation, and it sucks that football is a different sport where you don't play that many games. Play 12, 13 games during the season, maybe a bowl game. You get 60 minutes. You don't get that many chances, and I think he's dead right. The young guys made the mistakes that are very costly. In that kind of game, in that kind of team game, you have to have your wits about you. The looking now, and I didn't see it yesterday, the Isaiah Davis hit, unconscionable. There's no reason for that. The play's over. The guy's tackled out of bounds. Ashford's standing there. He's actually looking at the play on the ground when he gets blindsided.
Oh, I hate that.
And it's awful. It is. And, I'm sure Moore is going to say, we expect better out of you, young men, because that and then that penalty on top of the kickoff return just changed the entire game. That's an extra 7 points that now, okay, we're running out of time. The clock's not our friend. We've got that's when you're like, again, that's the coaching that's got to come from this, and you got to do it in a positive manner because of 2023 kids. You don't want to lose them or their confidence. But going into what is it, Georgia State? Georgia State. You minimize the damage. And I'm talking about penalties. I thought everything else other than like the lack of tackling when you had him bottled up. But I also thought, looking at Armstrong, a lot of those are not set runs, but they're like, listen, if your checkdowns don't match up real quick, you're a good enough runner to get 5-10 yards. And he did that. He took every opportunity that we gave them. So I don't think we're going to see that many better running quarterbacks than that guy. So that's actually another thing you're going to be like, okay, we're not going to see that again. We're not going to have to worry about that again. So I just think that the defense was fine. It's all offense. Dude, there's a couple of missed catches. Guys are wide open.
There's some balls that are thrown behind receivers, But when it hits you in the shoulder pad, I'm sorry, that's not behind you. Even though it is,
Right.
it turns you a little bit. I got you. But if it hits you in the hands, you got to catch the football.
Right.
Got to catch the football. Now, you two were in the mix. Here's the one thing I can say. I had a great time. All the way
absolutely.
from 2:30 when the gates opened until 12 at midnight when I finally got out of that place. Great time. If you got there at like 3 o'clock and looked at the sea of tailgates, the sea of flags that were out there, you would have been very proud of your home state. And then I still think we take a little bit long to get in there. I still think we leave a little early.
It's not take a little bit. It was way too long to get your butts in the stadium 10 minutes before the game, 20 minutes before the game.
Now, you guys were
I was
there.
there an hour and a half before the
What?
game started. I was in my seat.
aggressive.
Well, listen, first of all, I'd like to thank Jonna Dibble because she got fantastic seats.
Awesome.
She bought season tickets on the 50-yard line.
She's alum.
So I recommend this to any person that's thinking about season tickets for Uconn.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're amazing. You get the parking pass. You're right in the first parking lot. Boom. We were right out after the game. But, if you can afford the season tickets, buy them. Buy them. I've never thought about buying them until this year. Normally we can get them through work. We can get really good tickets. Usually I'm up in the press box.
But now you don't got to worry about that riff-raff. You're pulling on your own. You don't got to kiss any babies.
It's still difficult, though, to listen to the fans,
What?
yelling at the players. Listen, it's
What do you
not that
mean?
easy. Well, because
I
people
can't
that are
hear
sitting
this, so
up
tell me what you're hearing.
Oh, you're hearing a lot of griping.
A lot of griping.
A lot of griping. This is why I don't usually sit in
Are
the
those
stand.
gripers vocally griping to the point where it's like, let's go, come on,
Well,
you can
okay,
do this? Or is
so
it like, God, these guys again this
First
year?
of all, you and I both know there's holding on every play. So to sit there and be like, listen, we only had 6 penalties. They had 1. Okay, I didn't think the refs were awful. The 2 pass interferences, you're a former receiver. You tell me, are those pass interference when you don't look back to find the ball?
It's an easy call, 100%. As soon as
it sucks because it's such a thing. But I thought, listen, the one that was about a 40-yarder, that was only a 15-yard penalty in college. In the pros, it's at the point where the spot fell. So you only got penalized 15 yards for that. So
what are they yelling? What?
Oh my God, they're yelling at the refs like it's the refs' fault. No, that was our guy's fault.
Yeah.
That again, we killed ourselves with the penalties. Explain it though. It's hard with radio because you can't show people what you're supposed to do.
So
you have to look like you're going for the ball. Correct.
The best term I've always had, and this is like back in the early '90s when I heard this term, was face guarding. And that's basically you're the defender and you're in the face of the receiver and you're never making a play on the football. Now, if that pass, and you see this in the NFL all the time, and I advise if you have nothing going, throw a deep ball, underthrow a deep ball in the NFL. That defensive back, for some reason, will face guard you and like pick you from even making an attempt on the ball. That is an easy pass interference call to make, and I thought both of them were the right call.
Agreed.
The holding as well. Saw that before it was even called. When you get outside and you get your arms
they were bitching
extended.
and moaning about NC State holding. Yeah, they are holding, but that's part of it. We were also missing tackles.
If you look at Victor Rosa's 71-yard touchdown,
some holding
I
on that
don't
play.
want to take anything away because that was awesome.
But there has to be a limited amount of holding. There's always going to be. It's just when you can't take guys down. You can't tackle people and stuff like that. But listen, I love being out there.
Is that one of the biggest crowds since 2010? 36,000.
But we need to be louder. You need to be an annoyance to the other team.
Third down was weak.
You
Third
have
down,
a job.
shake the keys. You guys get the keys out, shake the keys.
Listen, I'm a Connecticut native. I was born and raised here. I know you people. You're loud as hell at a Yankee game. You're loud as hell at a Jets game or a Giants game. You get to a Uconn football game, this isn't a tennis match. This isn't golf.
The U.S. Open is going on.
This
so
is
time.
Understand. They're actually serving you some adult beverages. Scream
That's
your damn
true.
bloody guts out.
That's true.
It's you should be so loud when NC State or whoever has the ball. Well, we got 5 more home games.
Yeah.
5 more home games.
3 this month.
This has to be, and Connor, who does a great job of getting the crowd, getting the crowd into it. Love him. He's saying for you to get louder. He's not saying that for his own, appeasement. He's saying get louder so they can't hear their calls. Be the 12th man that we need to be to help the Uconn football team a little bit when we're on defense.
So, Kurt, tell me how this went. So when the PA announcer goes, "It's another Uconn."
Oh, God.
Now
I
it's
hate
like
that.
you two stepping up. You hate it. You love
hate
it.
it.
But you don't
hate
like it. You think it's lame.
It's lame.
I do think it's
we're
lame
not
as
good
well.
enough to be saying we're getting that many first downs.
But we're doing it, and I feel
Right.
like when we did it
You're
last night,
supposed to do it.
Kurt's the only one who stands up and says first down.
Yeah. There were some other jabronis that, but listen, that's like being
Yeah, I agree.
pitching for the Reds, and every time I throw a strike, that's another Cincinnati strike.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get first downs. It's almost listen. Players, it used to annoy me when they did the first down signal. Now everybody does, so it doesn't annoy me. But when you're PA, there's just I don't want to be overly critical of how 30 years ago we are at Uconn football.
Dude,
but
I
we
hate
still
this
are.
conversation. I hear that all the time. I heard
Do
it
you
last
understand?
night.
Welcome to the Jungle is from Cincinnati.
No, I didn't.
Okay, it is.
Okay.
That's their thing. Get a new damn song. Come up with your own stuff. You're
didn't-
playing Sweet Caroline. That's the
didn't need
Red
that.
Sox.
I was thinking of you when they played
Holy
it.
crap. I was like, really? We're doing Sweet Caroline? Stop.
And the Red
Come
Sox
up with your own
fan
stuff.
doesn't like it either.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Now I
I'm
did
not
see
going
a
to
new
vent anymore.
thing.
But those are two things. Welcome to
wait.
the Jungle is
Okay.
overplayed.
Yeah.
And the Sweet Caroline, just come up with something else.
All right. So and not
But
Timmy
I will
Trumpets
say-
either. Timmy Trumpets
No,
is
God,
off.
no.
Off the
But
list,
the
yeah.
music that they played, the DMX style stuff that they played for today's kid was fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic. That's usually we used to play jock jams.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what is with you people? Get out of the 80s. It's
Actually,
2023.
you know what? They did fire up the Gary Glitter at one point, and I was kind of sick to myself. Yeah, we need to move on from that. I take phone calls on the ideas for music at the stadium at 860-522-3776. Come on.
Those
Give
are
me
just
some
little
good
things, though.
ideas.
I mean, other than that, though, everything was great. The tailgating was great.
It was
the,
fun.
the fans are amazing.
I met a lot of
I
new
love
The
the
hype
stadium.
reels. The hype reels on the.
I thought it was really cool that all those football alums were there. It was Andy Baylock
Yes.
was the honorary
Andy Baylock
captain.
was honored. He should be.
He's the one who gets all the football alumni together. He's the one who keeps them all intact.
1,300.
Dan Orlovsky narrated the hype video.
Yep.
That was cool. He was throwing out T-shirts. By the way, still got it.
Connor threw
hit
one
the
farther
upper-
than him.
No way.
That's 100% Kurt. Kurt's my witness.
Accurate.
Accuracy. Connor out threw Orlovsky.
Well, we had a lot of alums that were there that are NFL employees of some sort,
Yeah.
whether they work for a team, coach for a team. There are so many guys with polo shirts, with Baltimore Ravens polos, with Buffalo Bills polos, that they were all alums out there in the press box with the kids, down the locker room with the fans. They had their own tailgate. I thought that was a really good kickoff to the 2023 season, having all those guys there.
Listen, I don't want to offend anybody, but I also thought, when you're showing Jonathan's a great Husky.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan needs to either be ripping the crap out of an NC State jersey, peeing on a helmet. We've got to be more angry. We are like the most passive bunch of people I've ever been around.
Wine
you
and cheese
understand
crowd.
football exactly.
Wine and cheese crowd.
This isn't a yacht club. This isn't a country club. This is a football game. Get hyped. These kids are hyped, but we're just like, oh, that's so nice. Did you see
He is
that
so
kid
cute,
up
though.
there?
Grandma's
He's so-
house.
Exactly.
He's
It's like
cute.
going to grandma's
I'm like,
house.
you get-
Everything's friendly.
It's all okay until you get punched in the mouth. Then it's a football game.
I do think they're putting blue contacts in that dog's eyes. There's no way that dog has that blue eyes. Like the husky,
puppy or the other
No,
one?
the puppy, the new one. 15, 16?
Honestly, 15. I honestly think they look far and wide 15 because I first thought they were painting that face.
I still think they're painting that
You
face.
still think they're painting that face on
They're painting
him?
his
That-
face, and they're putting blue contacts in his eyes. That dog is too perfect. It's like they have a
I know.
clone
But
of
again,
the
do
actual
you see what I'm
drawing
saying?
of the mascot.
Even if we get a wolf pack towel, can you get the dogs fighting with the towel? We got we are just the softest group of people I've ever been around.
Now, I didn't see the mascot, Mr. Wolf, but I did see Miss Wolfie. She was in the house.
And you made the call.
I told
Where
you.
the hell was Mr. Wolfpack?
I don't know.
I
think that's what they think of us.
You're gonna
That's
have
what
to
they
you're gonna
think
have to
of us.
research this, and I said that as well, Kurt. I said that as well. I think that Mrs. Wolf goes on the road to kind of be like, we didn't even need to bring Mr. Wolf because you guys are such a bunch of candy.
You don't need to
asses."
research it. That is the reason.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's what they thought of us. We're a bunch of candy asses, and we act like that.
I know we got to go, but we got to hit this news. Even worse news than the loss last night, which all y'all expected, but I didn't. ACC doesn't like us either. They're taking Cal, Stanford, SMU. They made the announcement earlier this morning.
Always a bridesmaid.
That's bad, man. My heart breaks hearing that news today.
SMU, come on, snooze fest, and penalized in the 80s for cheating like a mother.
And since then, what have they done?
Nothing.
Cal and Stanford, why? Just because they have a traveling partner? Atlantic Coast Conference? Really?
Get your travel buddy.
Atlantic?
What is this, Toy Story? I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on.
All right, Adam Giardino is on the sidelines. It's Friday. We're on fire. I was up late last night, so I'm grumpy. I apologize. Adam Giardino, sideline reporter, will join us. And then Enkwa Sonye from WFSB will join us next hour. We'll just keep talking some Uconn football until you get a little bit mad at us, and maybe you'll bring it to the field. We'll be right back. Headline.